This. Phew. Amazing. You're in for a treat, dude. You are in for a treat. I had a great time. I had a lot of fun. It was just... I think we're just waiting for the mic. Of course, why would it ever work for me? Let's see if we can go here. Check, check. Check, 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 check. I don't hear anything up here. Huh? What's going on, Stephanie? Talk, 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 talk. Talk, 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 talking. Once you get me talking, I won't stop talking. There it is. Let's see if this is working too. Ya lie, 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 ya lie, 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 ya lie, 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 ya lie, lie, ya lie, 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 ya lie, 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 ya lie, 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 ya lie, lie, ya lie, lie. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Ya lie, 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 ya lie, 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 ya lie, 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 ya lie, lie, ya lie, 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 ya lie, 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 ya lie, 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 ya lie, lie, ya lie, lie. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom, everyone. Shabbat shalom. One more time, Shabbat shalom. On the east side, Shabbat shalom. On the west side, Shabbat shalom. Oh, it's so great to be back here. Wow. Hello, hello, my friends. Welcome, 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 welcome back to some of you who haven't been here in a very, very long time. Welcome back to me, who hasn't been here in what seems like a long time. I felt you from Israel. It was really wonderful to be there, and I'm really happy to be back home with all of you.
And mazel tov to you on the beginning of your 50th year.
Thank you very much, Joe Luber. Thank you very, very much. 5 years and many, many more. Admea Stream. Here you go. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm Cantor Seth Ettinger, and it feels very strange saying that since I know practically everybody in here. But for those of you who are joining us online, either on that camera or on that camera, I'm Cantor Seth Ettinger, and on behalf of the board of directors, the clergy, and the senior staff of Congregation Beth Israel, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us from your homes to celebrate Shabbat. I am delighted that I am joined tonight by a member of our board of directors, a dear friend of mine. Will Koslow is here this evening. And I love being in the chapel because it's a loud, vibrant, amazing room, and we love to sing, don't we? CBI, so we're going to go ahead and continue to sing. I noticed when I was walking into the room that we have a pedestal, but we don't have candles. And that's okay, because technically, are we not lighting candles? Oh, they're right there. We've changed that. Okay, fantastic. I'm glad I checked. We're going to go ahead and upon the conclusion of our service, we will go ahead and join together as our mishpacha, our family, to go ahead and light candles together so we can hop right on in to page 138, welcoming in the Shabbat bride with Lecha Dodi. Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala Amor וזכור בדיבור אחד השמיענו אל המיוחד אדוני אחד ושמו אחד לשם ותפארת Let's try that together. Lecha Dodi Likrat Kala B'nei Shabbat Mekabela Hitoleri Adonai alaich nigla lecha dodi likrat kala b'nei Shabbat mekabela. We stand as one community to face the back of our sanctuary and welcome in the Shabbat bride. Mo'im v'shalom ateret bala gam besimcha u'betzola toch ebunei am segula mo'im mikala Going to turn to page 144 and join together in the Chatzi Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rab Amen Be'alma divrach yirutei ve'amlich malchutei B'chayechon uvyomechon Uv'chaye dechol Beit Yisrael B'kala Amen. Yehi shmei Rabba mevorach le'olam olal me'al maya yitvarach ve'yishtabach v'yitbar v'yitroma v'nasei ויתהדר ויתהלל ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו לילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה דמירן בעלמה ויאמרו Amen. Before we stand together for the Baruch Hu, I would like for us to take a few moments to ask for God's blessings on those who are observing Shiva or Shloshim, the immediate 7 and 30-day mourning period. If you are here observing the mourning period and you wish to, please stand at this time so we may ask for God's blessings upon you. Hamakom yenachem etchem. May you be comforted among the mourners of Zion. Let us now turn to page 148 and join together for the Baruch Hu, the call to worship, page 146. Yai la lai 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 la lai 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 la lai 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 la lai 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 la lai 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 la lai 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 la lai 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 la lai 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 lai. Baruch Hu et Adonai, Hamevorach. Baruch Adonai, Hamevorach, Hamevorach, Leolam Va'ed. Hamevorach le'olam va'ed. We'll remain standing as we turn to the bottom of page 149 and read together. This is an hour of change. Within it we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? Baruch atah Adonai, Amari Varavim. Top of page 151, we join together. As you taught Torah to those whose names I bear, teach me Torah too. Its mystery beckons, yet I struggle with its truth. You meant Torah for me. Did you mean the struggle for me too? Don't let me struggle alone. Help me to understand, to be wise, to listen, to know. Lead me into the mystery. Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael. Page 152. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu, may be seated. Let us join together on page 154 with the Ve'ahavta. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha u'bechol nafshecha u'bechol meyodecha ve'hayu hadavarim ha'ele asher anochi metzavecha hayom alevavecha ושיננתם לפניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. Page 158. Let's join together. מי כמוך. מי כמוך בעלים אדוני מי כמוך נהדר בקודש נורא תהילות אוסף פלא נורא תהילות אוסף פלא יאי לי 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 יאי לי 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 יאי לי 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 מלכותך ראו בניך בוקע ים לפני משה ומרים זה עלינו ואמרו אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד יאי לי 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 יאי לי 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 יאי לי 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 יאי לי 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 ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב ודע לו מיד חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני גאל גאל ישראל יאי לי 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 יאי לי 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 יאי לי 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 יאי לי 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 Let's turn to the page and join together in a prayer for God to watch over us as we lie down in the uncertainty of night to wake up tomorrow with life renewed, sending that prayer and blessing to all those across the world who are in need. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom vehamidenu shomreinu lechaim Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom vehamidenu shomreinu lechaim nu on page 162, we join together in Vishamru, commanding us to keep Shabbat going alive and strong. Vishamru b'nei Israel et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat le'tochotam berit olam. Vishamru b'nei Israel et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat le'tochotam berit olam. Beini uvein penei Israel, oti leolam, oti leolam. Vishamru penei Israel et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat le'tochotam berit olam. Ki she'esher yamim asa Adonai, asa Adonai et ha-shamayim ve'et ha'aretz. Vishamru b'nei Israel et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat le'tochotam berit olam. Uvayom hashvi Shabbat vaynafash, Shabbat vaynafash, Shabbat vaynafash. Vishamru b'nei Israel et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat le'tochotam berit olam. One more time. Vishamru b'nei Israel et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat le'tochotam berit olam. We now stand as one community for the Amidah, the central prayer of our worship service, which can be found on page 164. Yalla lai lai lai, 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 yalla lai lai lai. Adonai sefatai tifkach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Yalla lai lai lai, 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 yalla lai lai lai. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzhak ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel ve'Elohei Leah, El Hagadol Hagibor ve'Hanora, El Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim ve'Konei Hakol ve'Zocher Chasdei Avot ve'Imahot, ומביא גאולה לפני פניכם למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן. ברוך אתה אדוני מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, מוריד הטל, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומיתו מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחייך הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלע. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש. You may be seated. Let's join together in the English at the top of page 173. May these hours of rest and renewal. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. And may all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day, and may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh ha-Shabbat. At the bottom of page 175. You are with us in our prayer, our love, and our doubt, in our longing to feel your presence and do your will. You are the still, clear voice within us. Therefore, O God, when doubt troubles us, when anxiety makes us tremble, when pain clouds the mind, we look inward for the answer to our prayers. There may we find you, and there find courage, insight, and endurance. And let our worship bring us closer to one another, that all Israel and all who seek you may find new strength for your service. Baruch atah Adonai, she'otcha levadecha b'yir'ad na'avod. I now invite you to take a few moments of silent meditation, and after a few moments, we will continue on page 180. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, Adonai, my rock and my redeemer. Ratzon im reifi והגיון ליבי לפניך אדוני צורי וגואלי אדוני צורי In a moment, we will continue with words of Mishaberach. And tonight, we wish a refuah shlema, a speedy recovery to the following people: Aliza, Talia, Sarah, Basdina, Rachel, Cassie Black, Stephen Black, Gerald Buckman, Rita Buxman, Chana Devora, Bas Sarah Davina, Chaim Ben Masha, Dov V'Yaakov V'Malka, Andrea Gass, Miriam Bat Yaakov V'Chaya, Megan Geronimi, Mark Hester, Gretchen Hunziger, Joseph Heimovich, Sandy Katz, Patricia Kearney, Stan Quishin, Mark Leb, Helene Miracle, Don Rosenblum, Dr. Larry Saltzman, Jody Sandler, Gary Stern, Rosemary Rizzo, Tolk, Addison Thompson, Gary Weltman, and Jim Willett. If there is anyone that you would like to say Mishaberach for this evening, I invite you to share their names aloud with us as my eyes meet yours. Thank you.
Pastor Stevens.
Thank you. Thank you. They will be fine, but I want to offer Mishaberach for my daughter, Georgie, and Roni, my son, Roni. If there's anyone in our online community who would like to have us say Mishaberach on their behalf, please write their name, the name of your loved one, in the chat below. Let us join now in words of Mishaberach on page 372. 371, thank you. Mishaberach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishaberach imotenu mekor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. Amen. We continue with a prayer for our country on page 376. Let us join together. O guardian of life and liberty, may our nation always merit your protection. Teach us to give thanks for what we have by sharing it with those who are in need. Keep our eyes open to the wonders of creation and alert to the care of the earth. May we never be lazy in the work of peace, and may we honor those who have died in defense of our ideals. Grant our leaders wisdom and forbearance. May they govern with justice and compassion. Help us all to appreciate one another and to respect the many ways that we may serve you. May our homes be safe from affliction and strife, and our country be sound in body and spirit. Amen. And now a prayer for the state of Israel at the bottom of page 377. O Heavenly One, protector and redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, which marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shield it beneath the wings of your love. Spread over it the canopy of your peace. Send light and truth to all who lead and advise, guiding them with your good counsel. Establish peace in the land and fullness for joy for all who dwell there. Amen. Okay, good. All right, no peeking, no peeking. Shabbat shalom, everyone. Tonight, rabbis, cantors, Jewish professionals from all over the world are celebrating special milestones in their careers because July 1st starts the new contract year. I looked on Facebook this morning and saw colleagues who were starting new positions, including Rabbi Emily Siegel, who begins her tenure tonight as the senior rabbi of Temple Chai. And we can't wait to meet Rabbi Siegel and collaborate, and we wish the entire Siegel family abundant joy and blessing with their new congregational family. I saw many posts from colleagues who, like Rabbi Khan, Rabbi Mason, Barkin, and me, are celebrating their workiversary. Some as many as 40 years. And whether it's 1, 5, 10, 18, 20, 36 years or beyond, each anniversary is special because each year brings with it new firsts and new opportunities for growth and learning. And so tonight, as I begin my 5th year as your cantor here at Congregation Beth Israel, I want to reflect for a few moments on the spirituality of the number 5. The number 5, for those of you Talmudic scholars here, has great spiritual importance in our Jewish tradition. And I don't want to put anybody on the spot, but can anyone name something in our Jewish tradition that is associated with the number 5? 5 books of Moses, the Torah. Yes, the Torah is known as the Chumash because the anthology is made up of 5 books. Very good. A+. Who can name another one? Yes, Janie. The 5 points on the Star of David. 1, 2, 3, 6. 6. Close. 6. 6, though. It's good. It's keeping me on my geometry. Keeping on my geometry. Who else? Something in our Jewish tradition that has the number 5 associated with it. Yes, Sally. The matriarchs and the patriarchs. 3 now you're just quizzing me. 3 patriarchs, 4 matriarchs. Not quite 5. Half of the 10 Commandments. Honoring your father and your mother. Very good. Very good. Well, in Jewish Kabbalistic practice, there is a practice of relating words based on their spiritual significance, and this is known as gematria. And each letter of the Hebrew Aleph Bet is assigned a numerical value. For example, Aleph is 1, Vet is 2, you get to Yud, you get 10, you start counting by tens, eventually you get to hundreds, 300, 500s. It's very confusing, but we're going to offer a whole class on it sometime in the future. But anyway, right, 5 years from now, there you go. But for anybody who knows the Hebrew alphabet, what is the 5th letter of the Hebrew alphabet? Hey. Hey. Hey is a very important letter in our tradition. And why? Because it is part of the unspeakable name of God, Yud-He, Vav-He, which we translate as causer of being because it has the verb I was, I am, I will be in it. Meaning that He is associated with our very existence. He is also given to Avram and Sarai when they establish their covenant with God, their connection, turning their names to Avraham and Sarah. Is there another one? Don't worry, I'm going to give this one to you. Also in Kabbalistic practice, when we look at the diagram of the 10 Sephirot, the fifth Sephirah is Gevurah, which means strength or might. And the Kabbalists taught that each of our Sephirot have a higher quality and a lower quality about them. And when we say higher, it means the intention to do good, and lower quality is the intention to do not so good. Applying this to Gevurah, higher Gevurah means strength to establish stability, and lower Gevurah to establish anarchy or chaos. Well, in this week's Torah portion, we witness the duality of Gevurah played out when a well-respected Levite named Korach gathers 250 men behind him and uses his Gevurah, his might, to intimidate Moses and Aaron so that they might include Korach and his 250 chieftains in the Kehunah, which means priesthood. They say to Moses, "You take too much upon yourselves, for the entire congregation are holy, and the Lord is in their midst. So why do you raise yourselves above the Lord's assembly?" How does Moses respond to this? Well, just as he did last week with the spies, Moses falls flat on his face and pleads with Korach, saying, "Is it not enough that God has distinguished you from the congregation of Israel to draw you near to him?" I'm using this translation. "To perform the service in the Mishkan of the Lord and to stand before the congregation to minister to them. God drew you near, and all your brothers, the sons of Levi with you, and now you seek the Kehunah as well? Therefore, you and your entire company who are assembled are against the Lord. For what is Aaron, or by that time Aharon, that you should complain against him?" As if Moses is saying, though you, Korach, may think that you are rebelling against Aaron, you are actually rebelling against God and the very foundation upon which our Israelite society stands. So what happens next? Moses tells Korach and his followers to gather outside the following morning, and Korach is to bring a sacrifice of incense. Korach does this, and once he makes his sacrifice, the earth, the very foundation upon which he is standing, opens up and swallows him alive. One would think that after seeing this happen, his followers would have switched sides. But just as we have seen time and time again with the power of mob mentality, they remain steadfast in their support of Korach and even cry for the land to swallow them up too. Both Korach and God use their strength and power with opposite intentions. Korach attempts to use his power to dismantle the foundation of the Israelite people and send the nation into chaos, so as to enable he and his faction to gain control. The sacrifice he makes is procedurally accurate, according to rabbinic scholars. However, God recognizes the ill intention behind it which is why in return, God responds with having the ground swallow him up. God wanted to show the people of Israel that once you make a sacrifice with ill intention, it is as if you aim to dismantle the foundation of the covenant. And God's strength, therefore, was used to reestablish order among the people and wipe out the evil from their midst. It is a terrible example of brother turning against brother, and what happens when greed, pride, or ignorance, also lower qualities of the Sephirot, cause us to lose our way. And I have been thinking a lot about this concept of what we in leadership positions should use our power to do, especially while on our centennial trip to Israel. During our time in the north, we spent a brief period in the city of Safed, which in Hebrew is Tzfat. And the founding of the city of Tzfat, at minimum, dates back to the Second Temple period and is even mentioned in the Torah as being one of the cities founded by Noah's sons following the flood. Who here has ever been to Tzfat? Amazing. So you will know then that in the 15th century, the city rose to prominence as the center of Jewish mysticism following the expulsion of Jews from Spain, when many prominent Sephardic rabbis made their way to Tzfat, including notable Kabbalists Isaac Luria, Joseph Caro, who wrote the Shulchan Aruch, and Rabbi Shlomo Halevi Alkabetz, who wrote the Sabbath song Lecha Dodi in the Ari Synagogue, which unfortunately we were not able to go into this trip, but we had a nice refrain of it on the veranda looking over the marketplace. Now, for any of you who have been to Tzfat before, you can spend all day there and then some. We didn't get to spend that much time there, but what resonated with me the most was a special presentation given to our group by the world-renowned Kabbalistic artist David Friedman. Here is a brief history about David Friedman. Born in Denver, Colorado in February 1957 and raised in a modern Orthodox family, Mr. Friedman became serious about art as a teenager, inspired by the artwork of album covers of 60s and early 70s music. I'm sure all of you have an image of your favorite album from that time period in front of your faces. After graduating from high school in 1975, he attended RISD, the Rhode Island School of Design, for 1 year, but left art school to study Torah and Jewish mysticism with the late Rabbi Twersky. Mr. Friedman immigrated to Israel in 1977 and spent 2 years studying Torah in Jerusalem, where he met his wife Miriam, and they married in 1979 and moved to Tzfat, where he immersed himself in the study of the classic texts of Judaism and continued to make art at night. And as early as 1980, Mr. Friedman began to produce artwork that was based on Torah concepts in an attempt to integrate Torah and art. Now, following a bout with cancer in 1987, Mr. Friedman started practicing meditation and discovered that there was such a thing as Jewish meditation. And the books of Aryeh Kaplan showed him how meditation is an important part of Kabbalah, and Mr. Friedman developed his own original system of translating Kabbalistic concepts into graphic shapes and colors based mostly on Sefer Yetzirah, which is the book of creation. He has exhibited in North America and Israel, and his works can be found in many homes and art collections around the world, including, I'm sure, the majority of the 16 pilgrims from CBI who experienced his teaching. And what is important to note is that though he could have used art to further political agenda, just as the art of the album covers which inspired him, instead he used his art with higher gevura, as he did with our group, to simplify and clarify profound Kabbalistic ideas. As they say, a picture is worth 1,000 words. Well, my friends, I brought a miniature of one of his pieces tonight to show you that I want to spend a few minutes talking about. And out of the many pieces that he showed us in the roughly 30 or 45 minutes that we spent in the museum of his house, this is the one that spoke most to me. And I'm going to ask that anyone who was on the trip not answer the following question. Ken, Carol, Jonathan, Brian, Sarah, anyone else? What is something that you notice? And if I didn't mention you and you were on the trip with me, you're not exempt, okay? Still got it. What do you notice about this picture that speaks out to you? First and foremost, for those of you who can read the Hebrew. Huh? Ein Sof, without end. You have, the title of the piece is Ein Sof, meaning without end. And for those of you who can read the Hebrew, what are the circles? What is written on the circles? Come back. In repeated words, you have keter, 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 chochma, 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 bina, 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 chesed, 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 gevura, 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 tiferet, 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 and so on, which are the names of the 10 Sefirot. What do you notice about this picture that reaches out and speaks to you? The circles are broken. The circles are broken. So why do you think that David Friedman, this artist who is very well versed in these Kabbalistic texts, painted this picture in this way with these broken circles? Is it, oh, that's a good one. Is it really a broken circle? Is it about the beginning of the time of the day and the end of the day? That's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful answer. Yes. Because the world isn't perfect yet. Wonderful. From the broken Sefirot that the light escapes, or the reverse, the Sefirot needs to be broken so that the light comes in or comes out. It's as if to say, you need to break the foundation of some things in order to get to something better. Korach had also been thinking that same way. Maybe. So now I want you to look a little harder. Are there any circles that are connected? The center one? Here?
No.
Which one? Here? No? Let's take a little deeper look. Are there any circles that are connected? What? The white circles in between the inner space are actually connected circles. I'm going to show this around to everybody because it's amazing when you see it. look at the white space, the inner space, and you will see that in actuality, though the physical sephirot circles are broken, the Ein Sof circle, that life force, that spiritual force that connects all of us, is actually connected. This picture will be prominently displayed in my office for anybody who wants to come in and talk about it. So now a follow-up question, and then I'm going to wrap it up. What do you think Mr. Friedman now intended to show us about ourselves in this picture? Say again. We're broken but whole. We are all connected. We are all connected. We are all connected. There's only one God in the middle, yet is connected throughout all of us. Now, members of the Centennial Israel trip, is there anything you want to go ahead and add that I didn't necessarily touch upon?
Can we bid on it?
Sure, I only marked it up 400%. And all proceeds go to the All for One campaign. How about for those of us in positions of power? We need to use that power to connect rather than divide. To show how we are all part of the same life force, created in the same image, and then we can recognize the Ein Sof in each other. Because I will tell you, if we don't, we will continue to compete, continue to push each other away, and continue to break until eventually there will be no pieces left to put together. And I would like to think that any leader beginning a new year in their position tonight will want to continue to strive to use their power to leave their organization, city, county, state, country, nation better than when they inherited it. And that can only be done by doing what we just said, recognizing that we are all connected and therefore all necessary for the very survival of humanity. So with this image in our minds, tonight I wish all of my colleagues across the city of Phoenix, across the great state of Arizona, across the United States, and across the world, Mazel Tov. May this year be a year of continued growth and spiritual fulfillment for you and your communities, and may we never stop strengthening the connection we have to one another. Shabbat Shalom. I would now like to invite up Will Coslow to represent our board of directors and tell us about what we can expect over the next couple of months.
Awesome. Well, Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom.
So, there were two things that jumped out at me about your talk,
Okay.
though, real quick. So the first one is when you said, I'm sure a picture came to mind when you mentioned 60s and 70s record covers.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing came to mind for me at all. Zero. And then the other thing is you left off. There's the number 5 is important because there's only 5 announcements.
Well, there you go.
Awesome. So everybody else should be
I wanted you to tell everybody that.
Awesome. So, what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. Announcements.
There are only
What did
5
I-
announcements, yes.
What did I say? Did I say something? Sorry. Oh, okay. So Hevre is the new name for CBI Religious School for grades pre-K through 6th. Registration is now open. Please talk to Rabbi Mason Barkin if you have any questions or are interested in learning more. The Friday night dinner group is back. Please contact CBI member Elaine Glazer during the summer months to RSVP and for restaurant info 1 week in advance to join other congregation members for dinner following Friday night services. Elaine's contact information is listed in the Shabbat program. Please continue to register for Shabbat services for security check-in purposes. We want to make sure that everybody is safe. For the time being, we will no longer be sending a confirmation email before services to confirm attendance. All are welcome to attend Shabbat services, and names will be on our Shabbat evening and morning service check-in lists. Intro to Judaism class is now open for registration. Join rabbis from Congregation Beth Israel, Kol Ami, Temple High, and Temple Solel for Introduction to Judaism. The 15-week course will take place on Tuesday nights at Congregation Beth Israel, either in person or virtually, from 7 to 9 p.m., beginning September 13th. Online registration link is now available in the weekly newsletter. If you are joining us for the first time or viewing Shabbat services from outside the Valley online, feel free to introduce yourselves virtually in the comments section below on YouTube or on Facebook so that we can wish you a special Shabbat Shalom. I hope everybody has a good long weekend and Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Thank you, Will. Is there Anyone coming who's here for the first time ever at CBI? Well, wonder. Oh, right here, right? Will you go ahead and tell everybody your name?
Yeah, it's Afton.
Afton, and where are you from? What brings you here tonight? Who brought you?
Helene brought me.
Very good.
Yeah, I moved here 5 years ago and trying to find home, so.
Excellent. Well, welcome. And we're going to look forward to having you meet all of your new friends here when we gather outside for candles and a little kiddush and a little challah. And I look forward to getting to know you a little bit more as well. I know we have returning friends, Lisa and Chloe Ephraim. So good to have you back. I've missed you. We've all missed you. And I know I see several faces of people in our congregation who haven't been here for a little while, or maybe you have, but I haven't been here for a while. So it's really nice to see all of you. This is going to be an incredible new year, and what a year to have together. So we are going to, and last but not least, happy 4th of July. Stay safe, everybody, please. We are going to conclude our service. Wait, last but not least, if you are joining us for the first time online, please type in your name so we can get to know you as well, and welcome. Page 586, we stand and join together in Aleinu. Aleinu leshabeach ladon hakol, latet gedula leotzer breishit, shelo asanu kegoyei haratzot, שלא שמענו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וכוח עלינו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. Amen. Amen. I'm going to now invite us to, I'm going to invite you to be seated. First and foremost, as we move into moments of Kaddish. It is with our deepest sympathies that we note the passing of the following people who were recently laid to their eternal rest. A beloved member of our congregation, Jim Andrews, husband of Susan Sachs, mother of Beth and Don Winter, Beth and John Seabreeze, Amy and Michael Geibelson, and Jay Andrews and Bindu Gajria, grandfather of Lindsay, Dahlia, Jacob, Chase, Rayleigh, Maddie, and Aubrey. We remember those of our congregational family whose yahrzeits occurred this week. May their souls be bound up in the bond of eternal life. Anna, Adam, Carrie Allen Bistro, Blanche Blickstein, Miriam Bronowitz, Virginia Brooks, Samuel Channon, Isaac Chris, Irvin Cohen, Kenneth J. Cole, Herman Evans, Bernard Fogelson, Nathan Folkman, Gertrude Frank, Tilly Goodharts, Deborah Scher Harter, Jerry Harwin, George Camarata, William Karp, Alma Korick, Edward Laurie, Nikki Morris, Fanny Rosefelt, Francis Rosenberg, Seymour Rosenblum, Bella Rosenfeld, Gussie Roth, Leo Rubinow, Edward P. Schaefer, Dorothy Schisler, Marie Schultz, Harry Spielman, Nathan Taish, Esther Ann Wild, Jeannie Zalkin, Fanny Zarif. If there is a name that I mispronounced or a name you would like to add, I invite you to share the name of your loved one aloud as my eyes meet yours. I'm going to start with this side of the room now.
Arthur Singer.
Thank you.
Cantor, we should acknowledge the 28th anniversary of the passing of the Lubavitcher Rabbi, Menachem Ben Mendel Schneerson.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. We also remember the 6 million who perished in the Shoah, including the 1.5 million children who have no one to say Kaddish for them. As always, we recall with admiration the soldiers and civilians of the state of Israel who have given their lives for our Jewish homeland. Lastly, if there are any of you joining online who would like to share the name of your loved one, please write their name in the chat. Zecher Tzadik Livracha, may all of their lives be for a blessing. And let us now stand and turn to page 598 as we join together in Mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash Shemai Rabbah, Amen. Be'alma divrach yirutei ve'amlich malchutei. B'chayechon u'vyomechon u'v'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael. Ba'gala v'zman kari v'yimaru, Amen. Yehei Shmei Rabbah mevarach le'alam u'lalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitale v'yithalal Shemei Kedusha b'richu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'imru, Amen. Yehi Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya, V'chayim Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael, V'imru Amen. Oseh Shalom Bimromav, Hu Ya'aseh Shalom. Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael, V'imru Amen. May the one who creates harmony on high bring peace to us and to all Israel, to which we say Amen. In a moment, we will join together for Oseh Shalom. Before we conclude, I need time to get out to those candles. So after we're done singing, please create that divide just for this once so I can go ahead and get out there. And I look forward to meeting and seeing all of you out in our foyer. Oseh Shalom Bimromav, Uyaseh Shalom Aleinu. Oseh Shalom Bimromav, Uyaseh Shalom Aleinu. Oseh Shalom Bimromav, Uyaseh Shalom Aleinu. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al Kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al Kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al Kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al Kol Yisrael. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.